Welcome, guys. TPC Toronto. What you're seeing, obviously, construction zone. It's going to be quite the destination in the next couple of years with all the stuff going on. 2 new golf courses across the street. All these clubhouses going up. So welcome today. I'm sure some of you guys haven't hit balls for 4 hours before, so it's quite the long day. But that's why there's a chair there. So have a seat, sit down, take a break, check your phone, do what you got to do. But the reason I do this is because I find the 1 hour golf lesson doesn't really work as well. You know, trying to get through all kinds of different things in an hour just isn't enough time, especially when you need time to kind of work through some of those ideas. So I'm going to come by, we're going to have a chat about your game, find out, what's going on, what do you want to fix, and I'm going to give you some stuff to think about. The first time I come by, it's going to be really big. I'm going to give you some big concepts and some big ideas, but the next time I come back after you've had a chance to practice, hopefully that gets a little bit easier for you. And I'm going to continue doing that kind of rotation. I'll come back and see what's going on, and I do this thing called layering, where we tackle the hardest things first and we get a little bit easier as the day goes on. And hopefully by the end of the session, you've got 2 or 3 words to make the whole thing work. Those 2 or 3 words are in kind of a rhythm or a beat or a song to your swing, so to say. And you can go to the driving range and practice some pretty simple things. I would say that in the next hour and a half, I do want you to get to your driver. I'd like to get to the driver sooner than later. I find that most times in a golf lesson, if you want to fix your driver, you do it at the end when you're tired. We're not going to do that here. I want to get right to it. And then hour 3 is going to be wedges. So whatever it is that we've done for the first 2 hours, we're going to tackle it with your wedges to kind of slow the speed down, give you a chance to be a little more, dramatic with it or emphasize it a little more. And then the last hour is when I'm going to come by and just reconfirm things. There won't be anything new in the last hour. It'll just be kind of making sure that we've got the right things in the right order so that, you have a chance to go practice and get this better. So we've got lots of golf balls. We've got drinks. Like I said, you got a chair. So let's get to it.
Awesome, thanks.
So talk to you about your game.
Inconsistent. Struggling with a two-way miss at times.
Okay. 2 curves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Haven't played a lot the last 3 years, so I'm trying to get back into it. And traditionally played a fade, and then the last year I've tried to groove a draw.
Okay.
Which has helped a little bit.
Okay.
Usually hit the bar long, which helps.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely want to get more consistent.
Just want to control that shot a little bit. Okay. So why'd you go from a fade to a draw? What was the reasoning?
I don't know. I felt like with the fade, especially on longer irons and driver, I could lose it.
Okay.
It just felt like it was a worse miss. And then just trying to practice getting rid of early extension and just turning through the ball. It just felt more natural to hit a draw, I guess. So.
Okay. You played a lot of golf so far this year?
2 rounds.
2?
And 1 range session, but I'm looking to get a lot more volume in now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hit some shots. What's your target?
Beyond the yellow flag, I guess.
Yellow checkered? Okay. Where'd you play this year?
Predator Ridge in BC.
Yeah.
I said there.
Love that place.
A bunch of guys, and then Mount Nemo in Burlington.
Yep.
Formerly Indian Wells, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, weird they changed the name. Everyone knows Indian Wells.
Yeah.
So what are the shots you struggle with?
7 iron.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the
That's
big
it?
thing.
Okay. Pretty solid. Things I'm seeing in how you're moving this golf club here. the first, I kind of took a look at your grip and how you're gripping the club. And when I see at the top of the swing, when the club face gets a little bit under the shaft like that, the club face is pretty open.
Yeah.
Let's get it down here.
Yeah.
A little open. And I think that, we can talk about the grip, but I think we could also talk about some stuff to change in your setup so we don't have to do much with your grip.
Sure.
But I think that's going to be like that's the big piece of the puzzle here. You move it pretty well. Like your golf club's on plane. I mean, your posture's all that stuff is really good. But the club face gets open early. Mm-hmm. It stays open, being underneath the shaft or on this side of the shaft rather than on that side of the shaft. So as you come down, there's a lot of motions trying to not cut across it, not fade it. So it's like, let's see what we can do with the arms to get them more in and more under so that we can get more of a draw action happening.
Yeah.
I would say that you'd have to swing significantly from inside out to make the ball draw, which is just going to make you too shallow and bring in some serious blocks. So, in the swing itself, I don't think it's going to be too much in how you're moving your body. It's going to be more about getting the golf club face in a better spot, like get the shaft to twist a bit of a different way. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's go over here and just talk about your setup itself. Like that would be, weak to neutral.
Yeah.
And if you would roll the hand over more so you can see more of the, I think you're going to find some immediate stop. But then what I mentioned in the setup that we could tweak, stay in your setup for me. I'm going to move you a little bit here. Right, being able to show me more of this forearm, get this arm bent a little bit more, it kind of presets you to get this club moving a little bit less from the outside, more from the inside, without really changing the swing path too much. So when I get in here and I kind of get my grip a little bit more rolled over and I get my right arm kind of under my left arm, you can kind of see how that sits, right? A little bit more under that way. So from there, can you make like a half backswing for me? Go a little further. So through here, I want you to feel like you're trying to point this face back at my camera. Yeah, good. Okay, take it back to that and just go ahead and hit one.
Going to stop at the top like
No, you can go ahead and start with a little bit of roll to the glove toward inward, so stronger grip. Good, and then as you take it back, a little bit of shaft twist to point the face back here and then hit it. How'd that feel from a strike standpoint?
Definitely felt more compression, I guess, because it feels like I'm setting it earlier and then doing less on the way down.
Yep.
I think that's something, especially when I was trying to change my swing, that changing from a weaker grip to a stronger grip just feels awkward.
It totally does, and I think it's just like it doesn't have to be like Dustin Johnson strong or like David Duval strong, where you can't get any stronger from there. But I've always looked at the golf grip as though that, like, we've always called it weak, neutral, and strong. It's like not good, not really good, and then good.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's more of a biomechanical thing down there. So a little rollover and then a little twist to the shaft, and then from there, I think that you can see the ball, start drifting to the left, but then avoid anything drifting to the right. Without introducing a path change, which brings in like straight to the right and over curves to the left.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, really good. So a little more twist on that one. The club face got a little open at the top. And I like your practice swings. The way you're taking it back right now is pretty good, where, with a little bit stronger, I'm just saying, like, a couple degrees turned in the grip, and then really twist the shaft almost the most to the top. There you go. It's going to feel restricted, like you can't go any farther.
Yeah.
And I'd say the easiest way to kind of tackle this move is to feel like right away that you're trying to turn the face down.
Yeah.
So right in your backswing, when you look at that club face, if 12 o'clock's here, 11 and 10, that's kind of where you want to get it.
Yeah.
The earlier you can find it, I think the easier it'll feel on you. Yep. And so a couple things that we'll notice with this is it's going to change your start line slightly. So if we just throw a stick in the ground kind of aimed at the yellow, and then we take this guy, all right, so stand back there, go behind the ball, kind of like you're in your routine, and that stick's right on, like just barely to the right of the yellow, right? But it's pretty close.
Yeah.
So now go ahead and address the ball. And notice how far right the stick looks now.
Yeah.
But we know it's on the line. So it's that misperception from standing beside the ball. So the more the face gets like that, I want you to feel like you can start it just barely to the right of the stick and have it curve back. Great shot. So any ball that curves right would be too much under and therefore too open at the top.
Right.
And I think stronger, feel like that thing gets twisted. So it's not, like this is the weird thing, it's not necessarily that you're taking the shaft and you're twisting the face closed and you're going to hit hooks with that.
Right.
It's more about when it goes this way, it de-lofts the club face more. So, I mean, I like to talk about the face being either pointed left or pointed right rather than open or closed, and then lofted or de-lofted.
Right.
And you've got the club lofted, which makes it look like that at the top,
Right.
and we want to try and de-loft the club face. Yeah. And I would say that if we spent the first hour today like being diligent with a stronger grip, just to the point that it's a little bit of a difference in change, take it back into here, take it back. So more bend in the wrist like that is going to help. Yeah. So let's make a practice swing out of this. We got stronger grip, take it back, really make that right wrist bend. Yeah, good, again. More right wrist bend earlier on. Good. Okay, come look at that.
Dynamic loft that I have to turn through the ball more, hit it square.
Yep, totally.
But it does feel a little more comfortable now.
Okay. So let's kind of cycle through our ideas. Let's hit 3 shots with a little bit more exaggerated to the grip each time.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty far off. So.
On the left side. Or
Actually, well, the last few years it's always been right. This year it's been more left though.
okay. That works. So a little more with the grip at setup and a little bit more of the twist on the way back. Wow. Okay. That's very far.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to be able. Now I'm a little older, a little stiffer. I used to be able to hit pretty far.
Okay. Well, I mean, that carried my range.
Yeah. Helping them.
Big time wind, that's true.
Yeah, when it is like when I have confidence in it, and I'm having like a round where I feel like I can hit it on par fours and fives, I definitely feel like it gives me the biggest advantage relative to the guys I play with.
Yep.
Sure.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Like I said, I think that, you know, you've got a great pivot and a great arm swing and all that fun stuff. You ever played here before?
Once.
Which course?
Last year, the North.
North, yeah, up there. Okay. So those drives are on the 17th fairway. All right. So that one's the one that's going to be out of sequence for you.
Yeah.
So when
I
you
felt
got
myself sort of stand up.
so I think that the stand up is going to be the symptom of you going from here and pulling that thing down. So, you know, based on what we've talked about trying to feel like this starts that way, and then we twist the shaft through bending that right hand a little bit better, right? From there, soften the arms. Take all the squeeze out of the tries, the buys, the shoulder. Keep them soft. Still some squeeze. And the squeeze will end up being into the grip. And if you squeeze the grip, that's when the grip can twist and bend. And
Yeah, I found, at least I think a couple years ago when I was first trying to make changes, it really did help to think. I almost soften my grip at the top and let the club fall a little bit, and then
yeah, yep. Didn't see it. Okay. Yep. Soften up the arms, keep the twist in the hands. Way to go. Now, overall, like generally speaking, you hit your irons very high.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, you remember what that flight looked like.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm not going to try and do anything special. See the difference?
Yeah.
Like, way different there. So the more that we can feel like we keep that twist in the shaft, the more you're going to react to that club face by turning out of the way, and there we de-lofted it. I mean, well, it's a little bit exaggerated, but I mean, I love flighting my clubs. I only carry 8 clubs in my bag, so I'm always changing stuff around, and I always find that the lowest flights are the ones that go the straightest and the most accurate.
Yeah.
So the more that you can de-loft it, the better. I mean, so Brooks Koepka hits into 179 irons, right?
Yeah.
It's just because he gets this club so de-lofted and crashes right down on top of it and sends it out like that. But that's going to create so much spin that it stops.
Right.
So at some point in your practice, I'd love to see you start like flighting irons to get them lower, and then you're going to feel like it's a punch shot, right? But you'll end up playing it on the course. So in your toolbox of like what to do if something bad happens. If you hit the ball, if you hit the ground first, the face was wide open.
Yeah.
If the club face is like over twisted or over closed, do you remember the one I hit? Trying to hit it low, I like hit it 2 feet in the air. So if you do it too much, you'll blade it and hit it too low, and with no divot. So we want something in the middle. And since you're the anomaly of being able to hit a high left shot, normally pulls go low, right? That's the shaft not having any forward lean. Club face was lofted. Keep that twist. Find it early, keep that twist. Not the block I was looking for. So give me something that's like 3/4 back, 3/4 through with the most twist to that shaft. And I want to see if you can start it lower than the stick in front of you. So if I was your mirror, okay, there's my finish. Club head below the handle. Yep, good.